Asking for money online is always a tough sell. Better known as e-begging, there are many websites that help you reach your goal for whatever you might need, like for a business startup, funeral, or even medical expenses. Wait, that's in the script? Those two are like really sad. Like the amount on there that's just about cancer really speaks about America's failed healthcare system. But today's video is not about cancer, which is a weird thing to say. No, rather it's about an infamous Twitter comic with an artist about to be homeless. Much like my video over your favorite student, is another art comic from Twitter that got the ire for many people. So I, Dovin, will take a look at the social media reaction to someone wanting to leave an abusive situation. Also, we'll later see what my fans thought of the same comic and reaction as read by my friend Dev.
Hey, what's up? It's me.
And to make it clear, do not attack anyone mentioned in this video. If you have something to say, just comment below. Maybe after you like and subscribe. That'd be nice. December 17, 2023, Donut Tweets create a comic referred to as I Might Go Homeless, or supporting Palestine while living in a pro-Israel family. The comic is about the real-life conflict between the daughter and mother, who is pro-Israel. Now, for this video, I won't go into the intricacies of that war, but Palestine does have a right to exist, and genocide is bad. You know, I really don't recommend doing that. It's not good. I'll tell you that. Genocide, not good. Cancel me all you want, just my opinion. And I'll be referring to Donut Tweets as Danu instead of Donuts, because to me it sounds a bit more serious, I suppose, and I don't really know the real name. So if you're drawing right now, instead of looking at the screen, when I say Danu, I mean Donut Tweets. All right, now that we've got that out of the order, you can continue drawing or coloring. What are you doing right there? What are you doing? Playing a game. Anyway, Danu would see more about what happened with the war and said, actually, Israel's not so good. Her mom would make offhanded jokes about Palestine, and when Danu tried to talk with her, the mom just wouldn't care. Going as far as mom writing pro-Israel on the walls of the house. I'm gonna give a pause to the story right here, as that right there is not normal. I'm gonna say very not normal to do. Having a plaque that says I love my country is a very normal thing to have in your house. But writing on the walls in a storage closet some sort with bad handwriting is very not normal, actually. And before I finished reading the comic, I was like, damn, she needs to like leave immediately. Like, jeez. The mom would also cut off the Wi-Fi while she was working to get a film done in order to apply for college. But yeah, this is all happening to a high school student. Just a little interesting, very important tidbit to mention in all of this. She ends the comic saying she doesn't want to ask for money as there are people suffering more than her, but it is a tough situation that she is in. Then she also draws a watermelon with Free Palestine and photo proof of this weird wall scribbling. So to recap, she is not homeless at this point. This wouldn't be until June 15, 2024, where she would give an update about her living situation. Now, on the website Know Your Meme, they would add this to the catalog under the series of Trauma Dunk Comics. Did you know it's like someone's actual job, like they do every day? Like they have to go to the website, give an update, do research, and type about someone going homeless and people making fun of them. Wait a second, I'm a fictional bunny and I'm telling you about this too. Can't believe this is my life. Wow. Jesus. People would parody her comics, such as Skibidi Joomer, who would make a parody redraw of characters from the titular web series. Well, not fully, as they would give up after a few drawings. Twitter user Subspace Posting would make a tweet featuring the Skibidi Toilet comic with Society is Doomed with over 48,000 likes. Their meme would actually give an anniversary reminder tweet that would later be taken down, apologizing to the creator through DMs. June 17, 2024, they would give another update about their living situation, as they were staying in a temporary motel thanks to the donations of fans. The room name had to be under her boyfriend's, as for that specific hotel, Donna was too young to have it under her name. Actually, remember that for later, as it'll be coming up very soon. They also said they'd be getting their diploma from the principal soon as well. They were apparently kicked out of the house because they're being pro-Palestine at the school graduation ceremony that made her mom so mad she just left, I guess. But back to the motel, I will mention it cost a lot. About 7,687 USD to stay between June 17th and September 6, 2024. Now, a lot of people were just like, wow, you spent $7,000 on a 1 month stay? And it's like, no, it's not a 1 month stay. That's not what it said on the paper at all. Now, along with the hotel, she would also raise enough money for a car, though she will get into a wreck a bit later. Though she would clarify that she wasn't begging for money when making this tweet. And with this timeline, people would scrutinize every aspect of how she spends her money, with many people saying she should rent an actual apartment and get a job to pay off her expenses. Two important things I'll mention at this point is outside of commission work, she does have a job of some sort. Well, she was working a job, then had to quit because her car was clearly out of commission. She would get another job closer to her that was easier to get. And I will say that in of itself was probably pretty hard to get. As for a lot of businesses, not having a stable place to live, the company might just turn you away for writing down a hotel or motel as where you live. You can get out of it by writing your local friend's house, but I digress. The other part about renting an apartment is that some do credit checks and want to make sure you have a stable income because they need money consistently. Very new concept for a lot of people. So when you have someone who is very young with no parental help, a lot of complexes would probably just turn her away. honestly. And her boyfriend lives out of the country, so that would be tough for her to get a visa to stay with him, and vice versa. But as of today, she's in art college attending SCAD, working a job. So in the end, the story has a more uplifting feeling. While many people would call her a scammer, I don't really think she is one, as that would imply some level of fraud when at the get-go it's pretty much a cut and dry case, I would say. She got kicked out of the house, she needs a place to stay, and she got money to stay at a place. It's been about 2 years since everything happened, and nothing really came out to prove otherwise that she was lying or that none of this actually happened. So unless something changes, it's not fraud. Usually when it comes to donating to a person or idea, your money is going to hopefully be spent with the end goal in mind, and it seems that's what was accomplished. So, I mean, now we're going to expect an 18-year-old who just left high school to be like the best spender of money in the world. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting into when donating, you know what I mean? Very, very, very understandable. And not only is she now attending college, she also has a job, so she isn't a usual e-beggar. She is advancing her life and getting more done thanks to the money that was given to her. Though as a response, I saw a lot of people would comment,
I can't believe she got kicked out because she was arguing with her mom. She should have shut up.
I will say in this very specific scenario, if it wasn't about the war, it'd probably be something else that would set the mom off. Like if her mom was writing on the walls and ripping up stickers, she's probably not the best person to be around, honestly. But like, wow, CPS should have been like called a long time ago. Danu will also be diagnosed with CPTSD, so the situation they found themselves in was not going well for the mental health. Oh, I did see a comment saying that she should sell her car in order to have more money, and it's like, what? Why are you saying that? Besides the fact you need a car to go places, it's kind of like when you see a homeless person who has a phone, and it's like, why do they have a phone? Aren't they homeless? And it's like, everyone needs a phone to do things. The whole situation was kind of one of those things where it's like, you don't have to donate and just move on. But I did see people say,
why donate to her and not someone else?
I didn't know charity was a competition of who's more sad and needy. Personally, I don't donate unless it's an organization that is vetted or someone I personally know. As yeah, there is that fear that the money is going to fraudulent purposes. But from all that I've seen, it's just one of those things where she got targeted because of a few major factors. Number one was that it was a comic involving a current major world conflict. Number two is from an artist. And if you saw my video over your favorite student, Twitter views personal art in a more negative way. If you haven't seen my video on that, you should go watch it after this one. I think it's pretty good. Number three is that since money was involved, the idea of donation is scrutinized within the online platform. And this has even been more so the case with people like the YouTuber Completionist and his Open Hand Foundation. So all of that mixed in together, you get hit with many different angles from people who are invested for one reason or another in this single person's donations. This is on top of the attitude towards e-begging, or the people that misuse the trust of an audience for continuing of reliance on it. But overall, people have been donating a lot less around the world. An article by Celia Ford and Vox called, Are We Actually in the Middle of a Generosity Crisis? Actually goes into how charitability in the US has gone way down. Quote,
in part, this can be explained by high costs of living, student loan debt, and inflation. Younger donors simply don't have the money right now, said Rashida Childress, a senior editor at the Chronicle of Philanthropy.
This is also in turn of the decline of organized religion in America. Less the actual religion part, and more being in a community that supports the idea of, well, giving. This is also mixed with the quote,
people seem to be losing faith in institutions, the government, the media, and non-governmental organizations like nonprofits.
But in saying all of that, however, they have found that people are more inclined to donate to individuals rather than nonprofits as a whole.
In 2022, the Charities Aid Foundation found that 4.2 billion people, 72% of the world's adult population, gave money, time, or service to someone they didn't know that year.
So while the trend of donating is still there overall, people are just more careful with how they spend their money. And of course, if there is a mistrust in the system, there can also be mistrust in giving online. Also, as to reiterate, many people just don't have enough to give, even just by a little bit. So when it comes to asking for money online, people are just more careful with their dollar. Though for Twitter, you're more likely to find mocking and ridicule than support, depending on the situation. An article by Anthony Sillard, PhD, wrote for Psychology Today called The Role of Social Media in Our Empathy Crisis. Within the article, right off the bat, quote,
a recent meta-analysis of 72 studies conducted between 1979 and 2009, for instance, found that the empathy levels of American college students have dropped 40%, which the authors primarily attribute to the rise of social media.
It's also shown that people speak up less for fear of attacks online, and you can see this in replies to comics like this subject to today's video. There are a lot of comments of people being mean or rude for the sole purpose to agitate the creator of the comic, rather than any actual concern of how she spends the money. It is a sad fate for a lot of social media services today that don't have good moderation systems in place. Twitter, of course, eroding what is a bannable offense, and Meta overall degrading the promotions of LGBT users. Currently, I've been using Blue Sky reply, which has been a lot more positive overall. But of course, I'm not the only one with thoughts, as I asked my audience what they thought of this comic. What'd you guys think of it? Let's take a look what you said.
Hate towards her is unjustified. From one side, it wasn't very clever to speak up about her views to her parents who are clearly Zionists. But I have a problem with parents more since they're the ones who want their daughter to go homeless just because she's anti-genocide. Her parents have no type of empathy nor towards innocent civilians nor towards their daughter. As someone whose adult life has been on and off homeless, I understand that fear. Her sense of justice can't allow her to ignore what's going on, and I think that's really admirable. Maybe there could possibly be a thing or two nitpicks if they're in good faith, but the majority of the criticism is just reactionaries trying to harass an artist for speaking up. As a Hispanic living in Latin America, one thing that has been happening though forever is there is a very strong suck it up culture, especially regarding the opinions of people older than you. Young people are hardly encouraged to form their own political beliefs, and educating yourself on topics sometimes even turns, like in this case, against teens. It's sad how kids start to get harassment from their own family inside of their home, and the community turns a plea for help into a who had it worse contest. Sadly, this isn't the first case I've seen of Hispanic children being kicked out of their homes over Palestinian conflict, and regardless of nationality, kicking out children who aren't self-sufficient over political beliefs shouldn't be normalized at all. I can keep talking about the whole effect Palestine has had on such a tight religious community that is the Hispanic, but it's sad that a kid who found support in their art group to fund a hotel room after being homeless is expected to feel shameful for asking for help. Being in distress is not a form of weakness. Okay, so aside from the fact that her parents are clearly assholes, and aside from the fact that there's a lot of victim blaming going on in the criticism, why is this even an issue? Like, as if the people criticizing her wouldn't do the exact same thing if they were about to go homeless, they wouldn't do a GoFundMe to fund a hotel room? Like, are you kidding me? Like, when was it bad to not want to be homeless? And why is it okay to shame people for not wanting to be homeless?
The comic by Danu and even the donations raised should have been a nothing burger. A person in an abusive household wants to get out and needs money to do so. But because of the reasons why and an active want to pick apart, it led to something more insidious as time went on. The speculation, nitpicking, and harassment of the creator was justified in the eyes of the attackers. For many, they saw someone e-begging and assumed that they're not a productive person in society, that they are leeching off the good fortunes of other people for the benefits of being lazy. But in reality, it was someone who ended up getting a job, going to college, and looking for a better life. Of course, that would be the end of the story had Danu not contacted me 2 days before the release of this video. I did not reach out to them because I didn't want to bother them, and as most of the stuff on Twitter was enough to glean for the purposes of this video. But with her tongues, I was able to find out a little bit more information that is pretty useful. She would clarify that part of the money went towards the down payment for the car, the hotel, plane ticket for her boyfriend to stay, groceries, and etc. She told me there weren't too many places to rent an apartment for 3 months, before she started college, that was convenient or feasible due to her age. And her car would be totaled, so she doesn't have that anymore. Luckily, insurance took care of that, so there's no debt on that end. Currently, she lives in college dorms and takes summer classes to stay housed. She is very thankful towards everyone who donated, and clarifies she won't be asking for Twitter for help ever again, for obvious reasons. The mental stress and everyone coming after her was a lot to handle, but luckily for her, she is doing better. And she does keep in touch with her father, little sisters, and even her brother. So yeah, it was mostly her mother doing all that weird stuff. To this day, Danu continues to create, even winning the American Visions Award for her comic called Red Lipstick. I wish the best of luck to them, and hope that they overcome the comments that they have gotten. Don't forget to keep on drawing and have a good day. And if you're not having a good day today, maybe try tomorrow. Tomorrow's also a time for a good day.